Welcome to Camp Chaos, where we celebrate the wild ride of modern womanhood.
Join us as we dish on motherhood, life's ups and downs, and all things pop culture that we know you want to talk about.
With special guests and expert insights, we're here to empower you through the chaos of everyday life.
Consider this your ultimate escape from the hustle and bustle. And as always, parental guidance suggested.
Camp is now in session.
Hello and welcome back. We have a fun episode today because we are rounding out the month of January.
And it actually has brought quite a bit of pop culture drama.
Yeah.
Right?
And I feel like people always ask us for pop culture. When I posted to my stories, like, what do you guys want to hear more about? It's always pop culture. And it's hard for us to like figure out the right way to do it. One, because we're so boring. Like, what are we going to say about pop culture?
No, but I feel like it's like the stuff that you're sending to your friends, we're sending to each other. Like, oh, what do you think about that? It's like, let's just air it out and tell people what we're talking about in the DMs.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. So we picked 3 topics today that we thought were like some pretty big topics for the month of January, pop culture moments, and we're going to share our thoughts on them.
Yeah.
So first up, the inauguration.
Which part would you like to talk about?
Well, I know there's so much to discuss.
So much.
We were going to talk about the
drama,
the parts that interested us.
I was going to say like who stood, who didn't stand. Do you care about that?
Okay, well for me, no.
I was glued to the TV.
Glued.
For some reason,
As
I
if
was like,
it was the royal wedding.
I know. I was in the gym and I'm like, can we turn the volume up? I can't hear anything. I don't want to read subtitles.
No, same.
Yeah.
I would love to know your thoughts on Melania's fashion, the hat, and the dress.
She wore it in 2019. It was like the similar. Like
I did not know that.
Okay, there was like the opposite colors of the hat. People were very upset about it. In my eyes, she is so iconic when it comes to her fashion, and it's hard for her to do any wrong in the fashion sense for me. I think she really brings it.
She does bring it. I loved the dress. I was just a little confused why I couldn't see your eyes during this big moment. And I wasn't sure if she was trying to make a statement of like, I do feel that she gets judged so harshly for every eye look, everything where it was like,
you heard the
today
thing of like
I'm going to keep it
like
here.
when the first inauguration was like blink twice if you're in trouble. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe it was a sign.
Yeah.
Or like there was some symbolism.
It just like, it felt very obvious that like, we do not know what she's thinking, seeing, feeling at all. Because hat was like.
I do think she is very high fashion though. I don't think she fucks around with fashion. I
know
think
she does.
Is
okay.
Like,
I'm telling, but like if Gus is about to be the president of the United States, are you going?
Looks I would serve.
Are you right? But
first off,
would you?
I would never be. Second.
But would you wear a hat that covers your eyes?
No, it would not be mine.
Right. So I just thought that was interesting.
It was her vibe. Yeah.
It was very cool.
You know
very sleek.
You know who did look incredible and it's like such first lady, but maybe presidential vibes? Ivanka.
No, Ivanka is out here turning out like she is Kate Middleton.
Yeah,
Meghan Markle. Like she is acting like she is a royal and I feel like she is what Kate Middleton I mean, she still is, but like and Meghan Markle were for the Americans where like if she posts one thing, that dress is going to sell out in 2 seconds.
And
like
she's actually brilliant. She's so well spoken.
I just listened to a podcast with her.
Yeah, Skinny Confidential.
So good.
I'm like, wow, you inspired me. I'm reading more. She is, in my eyes, she is
like the royal princess of
the
United States. Yeah. I thought she looked incredible.
Totally
I kind of felt like they were all like the whole Trump family was giving like royal vibes. Like they were thinking that they were the royals, which
said something to Gus. He's like, why are you so invested? I'm like, this family is just really.
I mean, even like Ivanka's hat, like it was very much like you are. Okay.
Yeah. They stepped it up.
Yeah. They stepped it up.
Lauren Sanchez, I actually loved her suit.
Okay. So I saw them walk in and I worked the Vanity Fair Oscar party. I have seen them in person. I'm like talking to you guys like they're my friends, but I have spoken to both of them. They are 2 of the nicest, most down-to-earth people that I've ever met in my life.
So it's
more specifically her. She is like I am there as like woman. A model greeter.
She came from like
but sometimes you would think that would almost make her work. No, she is so nice. She is looking you in the eye. But
very personal.
Every time I have seen her,
The boobs?
Those boobies have been out.
Yeah, the tatas. Yeah,
So-
she's ready to nurse somebody.
So no,
However,
she
I
is.
love the colors. I love the style.
Okay, so
love
when
the
she
fit.
took off the
But
jacket,
the tits are just there. Like you can't really hide those tits.
I don't think that they were as much as I have seen in person. So
Yeah,
when
I thought
she
it was a little bit toned
when she
down.
took off the jacket, I'm like, oh, come on. Like, we are here. Why are we doing the boobies out with the corset? Like, we could have found something. But
the
then
suit I liked.
But then when she turned more, like, I think she actually
you
stuffed
really
them in.
analyzed.
No, I
Really
did.
analyzed.
I think she like stuffed them in.
Well, didn't you see the thing of like Zuckerberg? Like he's like
Was
sitting
he
next to her and then he like gets caught like going like this.
I thought she looked incredible because I thought she looked like herself,
Yeah.
but a more conservative version,
Yes,
like
leveled
a
up.
presidential conservative version of herself. So I actually
Appreciated that.
loved her
Okay,
look.
what about Carrie Underwood? I was sitting there like it was one of those moments where you like, do I take a breath? Like I'm like, come on, somebody play the music. Something happened
and
here.
like the camera zoomed in this close to her, and she's like this,
yes,
like looking around.
but way to handle it. She
She
was so
is-
poised.
She is so beautiful.
I know.
It's really insane.
I know.
And I kept telling Drew, I'm like, please just look at President Trump like staring at her in awe. I mean, like her beauty is insane.
Yeah.
And then to hear these pipes come out of her and to handle that moment
I
like
know.
she did.
When what did she say? She's like, okay, is anybody going to help me out here? Of like, you know the words, like you guys can sing with me. And then she just nailed it.
Nailed it. And
Ugh.
like all the other factors of like being inside in the rotunda. Like I can imagine that the acoustics were a little off. Like this is a huge moment for
I was
her.
gonna say, forget about the acoustics. Like you have billionaires row, all of our past presidents. Like talk about a room that would make a girl sweat, and she just really nailed it.
Well, and everyone, was before she even went out there to speak was giving her a hard time of like, you've never like, put out your political views, but here you are doing this. And she was like, it really is not that. It's the fact that I was asked by the president of the United States, whoever it is, to come and perform. Like, this is the honor of my life to sing for our
Good for
country.
her.
Yeah. And so for her to like come out like that and to have that moment, but then to still be so iconic,
Yeah.
I was like,
well done, girl.
oh my God. She like can't do any wrong for me.
Yeah,
though.
same. The one thing that we did not mention that I think is probably the most important, Donald Trump's spray tan, really even. They have done something.
Wait, it has settled.
It is really
he slept
looking
in
good.
it for a couple days.
Yeah, it was worn. It's not as orange.
Right.
It was not as blotchy. It was lived in for a moment. Maybe some good exfoliator before, good moisturizer after. I just appreciated the spray
Don't you
tan.
wonder like what's going on in their room before they come out? Like where's hair and makeup?
Yeah.
Who's doing what? Like who's combing his hair? Who's dealing with Melania? Like what is the conversation? I mean,
You know who also, God, we could just talk all day about the inauguration.
I know.
Who also was very, and I think through this whole election has been, Barron. What a little gentleman that boy has turned out to be. He's so tall.
So tall.
He's so tall, and he just like looking people in the eyes, shaking their hands. Like he just seems like such a gentleman. Granted, like this is me watching what I see on social media.
Sure.
And the inauguration clips that I saw and watched. But he just seems like he's handled himself.
Yeah,
very
and he
well.
seems like very like reserved and
Yeah.
just like knowing his place, knowing that where he's at in this position in life is going to come with a lot of criticism. And I think he's just kind of like supporting his parents. And it's like, yeah, I mean, he's
most eligible.
it's so
bachelor,
crazy
probably.
when they showed like Trump in office last time and Barron was like this tiny
I know.
to
And now
like
he's
where
towered
he is
over,
now,
It's
which
wild.
is crazy.
Yeah.
To get away from the first family and to talk about something that didn't go so right. Did anybody watch Billy Ray Cyrus's performance?
That was not a performance. That was an escapade. That was
It was so
did he even
so
perform?
bad, you guys.
Did he even get
So
to
like
perform?
Old Town Road music video came on and then he like wasn't really singing, but he was playing the guitar and it sounded like me trying to play the guitar.
The clips that I saw, it was like it was inaudible. Like I couldn't understand.
No,
what he
you
was
can't
saying.
understand him. They
So he was
turned
blacked out
off.
drunk?
I don't know. I mean, people are thinking it was something like either alcohol, drugs, like something was going on because it was so like out of character. I mean, he performed with Lil Nas X at the Grammys to Old Town Road and it was amazing. They clearly turned off his guitar to him then being like, what happened to my guitar?
Are you guys going to turn it back on?
And then he's like, I know something's going on here. Carrie Underwood had tech issues.
He said that?
Yes, I'm also having tech issues. It's like,
no, sweetie.
Your team
being
is
silenced.
trying to shut you up.
You're being silenced.
And then he started singing like Achy Breaky Heart a cappella.
No way.
And then he sang Old Town Road, like just the chorus a cappella, and it sounded like he barely had any voice left. And then at the end,
this is worth a YouTube. Okay, I need.
This is worth it. It's like 10 minutes on YouTube. And then he's like trying to leave. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go. You know, these people just want to party. Let me exit. And he like then starts taking off all of his layers, which he's wearing like a scarf and a jacket and a sweater and a beanie and just his shirt. And then someone from a tech manager is coming out, like basically trying to guide him out the exit, which is straight back behind him. And he's like pacing, thinking the exits are to the side. So then the tech guy is just like picking up all his clothes and he's like, you know, directing him to the back. And Billy Ray still is like, can't figure out where it was just so messy and like
and this
cringy.
was all televised. Yeah,
well,
I didn't watch
and
this.
then Jason Aldean came out after and there were no tech issues.
Yeah,
they were just trying to
yeah.
They were trying to they thought they could save him.
They were trying to prevent
and Billy Ray said,
and
let me
the show must go on.
This is rock and roll, baby.
Amazing. Yeah. You know, I do think that I know a few people, a friend of mine that was there and her fashion was incredible, like incredible.
Oh, at the
some of the other people I know, some that I used to work with was there, and somebody like I don't want to name exactly. Some of it's like if you're going to this, you are going to look the best you have ever looked.
Oh my God.
I was a little surprised by some of the guests. Like that's what you chose? Like this very simple, very boring, like I know it's not your moment, but like it's a moment that you're there. You should deliver.
I think it's hard for people to like, I think people try to look like how they think it should, like they almost try to look like the Ivankas or like what the Melanias are going to wear. And it's like, yes, but their understated is like Oscar de la Renta understated. It's not really
so chic.
It's so chic.
It's so chic.
But like me trying to do understated, you'd probably be like,
you're not dressed
what
up
are
enough.
You wearing?
Well, I mean, any of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I did see this one girl that was like in the audience and she was in like a baby pink.
Oh, see,
suit.
I would love a baby pink suit.
I was like,
would love
that. I love. Like I kept spotting her.
Not a boring black clutch with boring black shoes that like was not even like no oomph to it. Like that is what I'm talking about.
No, we needed color.
Yeah, even like texture off the shoulder. Like I just wanted fashion,
and
I know that this was not about fashion, but you know,
but it kind of turned into a fashion moment.
It really did, and a concert.
Okay, yeah, that was good.
The inauguration. God bless America. We are moving to
Order in the Court.
Okay, you guys, the way that I'm involved in this.
The Justin Baldoni,
yeah,
Blake Lively lawsuit. We can give you very quick spark notes if you don't know what we're talking about. The Colleen Hoover, It Ends With Us movie. Jason Baldoni, I was Jason Aldean. Jason Baldoni and Blake Lively are the stars. Justin is also the director, and he also owns the production company.
He went to Colleen Hoover and said, I want to make this.
Right. And now, during the movie or the premiere, like there was a lot of backlash and stuff that came out about Justin and Blake not getting along so well. And I think Blake kind of looked like the bad guy.
She, I feel like in the premiere was giving the wrong vibes. The way that she was promoting it was not the way that it was expected of like it's about domestic violence.
Right.
And I think that she got a lot of backlash for the way that she was promoting it or not promoting it or speaking about it. And then I feel like the interactions that they were having was like under a microscope. And then it was almost like, okay, in order to restore my name, and I'm going to serve him with a sexual harassment suit.
Right.
Which like,
then he became the bad guy.
Yeah. But also like, okay, so I feel like I don't want to like get too entangled in this, but you can't delete text messages and then serve somebody in court and the other person has the text messages that are the right ones and not think that that's going to come out.
Right. Well,
because she deleted text messages.
Yeah. And everyone is saying like it is so crazy that we are seeing these text messages.
Yeah. Have you read them?
Yes, I have read some of them. I think I'm out of chronological order, so I'm a little confused.
Oh.
But like the text messages themselves, well, first of all.
The suppository one?
I didn't see that one.
Oh my God. When she wrote him this like really long text messages of like text message about how like we're going to create something beautiful and like we are both two people, which also she said in there like we're both two woke people. And I'm like, the fact that you just called yourself woke
No.
is a
Her
problem.
vibe is cringe via
That
text
is
message.
so weird. But then he said, oh, I agree and I appreciate it. And I like sentimental Blake, meaning like she's not normally sentimental. And she wrote back, I don't know her. And then he said, don't worry. And keep in mind, these are at 11:30 at night. This is flirting in my eyes. Hear me out. He wrote back saying, don't worry. I also like asshole Blake. And she said, yeah, I know her. And so do my suppositories. They were flirting. I think she had the hots for him.
Oh my God. That's a hot take.
Yeah, it's the facts.
Wow.
Not that I was in the room, but I know it.
Missed
And
that.
then did you see the whole thing about my dragons? And you can call me Khaleesi, and my dragons are my husband and Taylor.
My husband and Taylor Swift. Well, that's the thing is like.
You're my dragon.
She came out with the sexual harassment claim, and he was like, and that caused him quite a bit of damages. Like his podcast co-host left, like people, he lost jobs, he lost awards that he was getting, all these things. So then he turned around and sued her for $400 million in damages. And now seeing both sides, first of all, this is so messy. And I am so disgusted for Colleen Hoover, who like this book was huge for her and should have been such a phenomenon. And instead, the only thing that we're talking about is the lawsuit between these two people who it doesn't seem to me like there was sexual, right. It doesn't seem like there was sexual harassment. It seems like things were miscommunicated because I know a lot has to do with the intimacy coordinator or whatever, that he wanted to bring someone on full time. And then
and she declined meeting with him.
Which like, that's kind of weird, no?
Yeah.
But then you're saying that he added all these extra things in, and I know that, or I've learned that in a contract, like literally if I want to touch her butt right now, like that's in the contract. Like Taylor touches her butt during this pillow talk. You can't add like, then I grab your face and kiss you. Like if that
you can't improvise.
No, you can't improvise, that I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like, well, if he's like in the moment
But they say that it's the opposite. She was accusing him of that. And then all these other people on set are saying it was actually the opposite, where she was improvising. She was giving additional. Have you heard that?
No, but I think that this has only made her look worse.
1,000,000%. And it makes him look like a gentleman. Like there's these text messages going back and forth that they had to film like nudity or sex scenes, whatever, these type of kissing, making out, whatever her body was going to be shown. And she said, I'm working my ass off basically. And I'm paraphrasing, by the way. And these are just our opinions. So nobody please sue us.
Please.
But it was like, I'm working my ass off and I'm not there yet. Like I'm not, like she wasn't feeling good in her body. She had just had another baby. We all get that and we all can sympathize with that. He was such a gentleman and said like, we will only do with what you're comfortable with. I said like, yes, we could push the scenes back further in like the timeline if we're able to. And anything that you don't like, we will cover. Like it was such a gentleman way of handling it that it's like all of these are exposed. You can't hide from these texts now. You are suing somebody from this, and now here he is producing documentation, and it doesn't add up. It's not lining up with what you're accusing.
And I'm just kind of confused. Like she is so A-list and so above all of this that
why
it's
is
like,
she trying to destroy
why
him?
are you trying to destroy him? Like I
think it's for her reputation.
I think it's for her reputation.
She was trying to
clearly.
restore her reputation.
Yes, and she thought she could, and I think she's slowly realizing that like she messed with a person who's not going to let this completely derail his Hollywood career
or his life.
Well, yeah, because for someone like him, like this is his livelihood. And you know, this is ruining his livelihood, and he could get no more jobs in Hollywood based on this experience. Like nobody wants to touch this situation with a 10-foot pole.
Except you and I talking about it.
Well, yeah, but that's because we're curious.
I said things to my mom. I was like, oh my God, you have to hear about this. And Gus is there in the other room. And he comes and he goes, is this what I'm paying a nanny for? To you?
Oh my God.
I'm sending
just wait till he hears that we kick him out to talk about this on the podcast.
It's really over for us. But he's like, why are you so intertwined in this? Like, why do you care? And you know me, like, I don't really care about pop culture things. Like there's once in a while something will catch me and I'm like, I'm into it and I'm invested. invested. This is it for me.
Oh, I am so into pop culture stuff. So this for me is like, this is a good one.
This is a
and
good one.
I like read the book. So I was so excited for the movie. I cried during the movie. But then it like ruins the movie. Like I'm not going to go rent this movie again because I can't watch these two knowing that they're faking
I
it.
would want to I watched it, but I want to rewatch it now.
Oh, now we want to analyze it so that we can get the TV into the courtroom.
And it's like her cut and his cut, that whole thing. Yeah.
Oh my God. Juicy. So that
we're actually interested of what your guys' thoughts are on this. So.
I know. And like, do we get a camera in the courtroom?
Oh my God, that would be wonderful.
Like I'm so because a court has got to hear all of this, and I'm so curious to know
before they go to court.
I don't know.
I mean,
she would be very smart to settle before court. But I'm very curious to like know what
I'm sure somebody will be dropping the charges. She's probably there's got to be something worked out.
Something, or like she's too pissed and she's gonna. I'm sure she's getting some advice from Taylor and her crisis PR. And they're probably like, all right, we have to let like, we've been here before.
Yeah.
Here's how we handle it. So yeah, stay tuned because I'm sure there's more to come from
there's
that
a lot more.
in
this
February.
Is part 1 of probably 213.
And our final pop culture story of January, that was just the devastation for some people. The demise of TikTok.
Okay, let's be honest.
Only to come back 14 hours later.
Less than. I feel like this was a publicity stunt for number 47, President Donald Trump. I feel like this was a way of like, all right, all you woke liberals that are scrolling all day. Oh, I'm going to take this away. It literally, I have a screenshot of it saying like, we're hoping to work with President Trump in the coming days. And then it was like, you wake up in the morning, open the app. Thanks to Donald Trump, you guys all have TikTok back, which in my opinion, is that true? I don't know. I know he's just given more time and I'm sure somebody will buy it out. My husband was never worried. And like, if you know Gus, he loves like 15 minutes of scrolling for his news and religion at the end of the day, which I was so happy to not hear that night. I was like, it's like peace. But watching the TikTokers cry their eyes out was it was a lot of things. For the people that make a living on it, I actually felt very bad. And that has got to be very scary. Having your livelihood taken like that on a platform that is so humbling for like, how would you feel? Like before you know it, your income is gone.
Why, I heard two, everybody's talking about TikTok being gone. And I heard two hot takes that I really appreciated. One was, if you are a content creator, this is your warning to diversify yourself. You cannot rely on any one app these days because you need to be
Instagram. You were only on Instagram.
I know. I'm only on Instagram, but it's like same thing. Yeah. You should at least we have another medium of like a podcast. Like if Instagram were to go down, we can
They're
still
not gonna take our
talk people's ear off on the podcast until that goes down.
But you know what Lacey and I did? We went to Red Note.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. The songs that
talk
about that giving me life. Like, I don't even know what the song is about. This song, and everybody fleeting to Red Note, that and the videos that we sent back and forth, I was dying laughing. It was just giving me a lot of humor that week.
Yes.
I appreciate it. I also have realized I probably have enlisted in the Chinese army of what I agreed to.
Oh, I'm sure you did. If someone shows up at your front door, Kendra Mayo Delay, you are coming with us.
I'm not kidding you. I would not be surprised. But yes, agreed about the diversification. I also just think that it was a little entertaining to watch people. Have you seen the thing of the Simpsons voiceover? It was if we all die here, I just want everybody to know. And it was people divulging their secrets.
Oh no.
You were not on TikTok then.
I'm not on TikTok. That's
okay, so everybody was doing it. It was it was Homer Simpson basically saying in case we all die here, I just want to tell everyone. And it was whatever the secret is that they said on The Simpsons, but it went over with everybody's words and it was what their secrets were. And the stay-at-home daughter one was I've actually worked a corporate job this whole time. The stuff that people were sharing was so entertaining that I got a little kick out of it. And I do feel at the end of the day, there's no way TikTok's going to go anywhere.
Well, that's what people kept saying is there's no way this is going to go anywhere. I personally am not big TikToker. Like I'm not a big scroller. I use it for recipes or like party ideas. I don't scroll to like look at any news. I kind of don't really understand the app. Like I learn more from like the podcast and like what we do with it. But I think I agree with people in saying like this was too big. Like it was going to get bought out in some way, shape, or form. Even if we were going to have a break, it was going to come back.
Well, and like, look, this president is saying like freedom of information. And I mean, right there, like, how are you going to take TikTok away?
Well, yeah. But the other hot take that I did hear that I really liked was like parents everywhere who have kids addicted to TikTok are so relieved.
Yeah,
and I think it was like, my God, because we're not there yet.
Those
We're
parents
like
are
our
upset.
kids.
Yeah.
But like that would have been a nice moment to like maybe it could have been gone for like 7 days.
No, I don't want it to go away. Don't get me wrong. And I would feel for all those people. But I'm not joking when I was like looking at Gus like, ha ha. Ha 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 ha.
That's hilarious.
Like, I was like
that we're talking about Gus and TikTok.
Well, and he's only on it like I don't even know if he has like a username. Like he doesn't obviously.
Well,
post.
yeah, he's user 1,588.
It's like his stock market news, his religious news, like his like
it's like his Twitter.
It's his Twitter.
Yeah,
and he
likes Drew's always on Twitter or Threads, whatever.
Yeah, it drives me crazy just because I'm like, you could be doing so much other productive things around the house or with the kids or with me. We could have so much more productivity than scrolling. And then he's like, let me see your screen time of how much time you're on your phone or your social media this week. And yeah.
But yeah, I think
then
it's
I have
like,
to remind him who the boss is.
Well, but then I saw a lot of people being like, well, when it came back, it's almost like, we don't want you. Like, we're good.
My problem was I wish that they made us miss it a little bit longer.
That's what they're saying.
Like we all went to bed and we woke up with it.
Like take it away for a week so that we're like, oh, we want it back. So like people couldn't even miss it because it was already back.
It was like
so
that.
soon.
It's like when your husband goes for a trip and then his flight gets canceled and he comes back and you're like, it's you.
I made plans.
I didn't want to miss you. I wanted to miss you. I didn't want to.
And I think that was the problem. But now it's here. I think people who like live and breathe by TikTok, I think will drastically change their ways just because like the thought, like I think from the beginning, like I don't think people thought that it would actually go away.
Yeah.
Even if it were for 12 hours.
Yeah.
So now that people saw that, I think we'll see like, I don't know, maybe more people will come back to Instagram with me.
Yeah, clearly.
I don't know.
All right.
Well, wow.
That was
I can't believe that was only January.
I know. And there's so much else that has happened in January. But those were our little top
that was
fun things.
Quite the start to 2025.
We'll see you in February. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Camp Chaos. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our show. Connect with us on social media at Camp Chaos Podcast.
Until next time, campers.